Hey everyone, we're going to get this session started. So my name is Dave Citron. I'm CVP of Product at Microsoft AI, and this is the Under the Hood session, a 25-minute deep dive in what's actually happening inside the models that 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗸𝗀𝗀 announced on stage earlier today. And if you were watching the keynote and thinking, cool numbers, but how did they actually do that, then this is the talk for you. So here's the structure. We're going to start with the philosophy behind the model and how we build. And then we'll talk through all 7 models that we're shipping. Then we'll go deep on MAI Thinking 1, our first frontier reasoning model. The architecture, the training recipe, and the reinforcement learning system. And then we'll close with frontier tuning, which you heard about this morning. So you can take what we've built and then run your own hill climbing loop on top of it. So with that, let's jump in. Okay, so this is what we announced this morning. 7 models across image, transcription, voice, coding, and thinking. And let me give you a quick map, but we'll go deep on each one. So image 2.5 is our image generation and editing model, now number 2 on 𝗦𝗲𝗻 leaderboard for image to image. And the flash variant of image 2.5 brings the quality to production scale at 1/3 of the cost. We're really excited about that model. Transcribe 1.5 is the world's most accurate transcription model across 43 languages and is 5 times faster than our rival models. Voice 2 is our most natural sounding speech model yet, preferred on 72% of blind listening tests. And the flash variant brings it under 150 milliseconds, so it's fantastic for voice agents. Code 1 Flash is our efficient coding model, already shipping as default in GitHub inside of VS Code. So definitely give that a try. And it's amazing coding performance at just a 5 billion active parameter coding model. And then finally, Thinking 1 is our first reasoning model, 97% on 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗧, 53 on 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Pro. So we'll go super deep on how we built that and again, how you can tune it. Before we go model by model, I want to spend a moment on philosophy because it drives real technical decisions at our lab. We call our approach humanist superintelligence, state-of-the-art AI explicitly designed to serve people and organizations, not replace them. And the word humanist is doing real work here. It's not decorative. It means 3 concrete things. Human first, the model always prioritizes human well-being. Serve, not replace. We build AI that augments what people can do. And platform commitment. We keep developers at the frontier. And that philosophy has 3 concrete implications for how we build. The most important, we don't distill. Distillation can produce fast gains, transferring a stronger model's behavior into a smaller one. Lots of labs do it, but it makes the teacher's capability the practical ceiling for the student. And it wouldn't test whether our own training pipeline can actually climb from weak initial performance or make progress in domains where no good teacher exists. So we hill climb from scratch. Every capability in these models was earned through our own training loop, not borrowed. And that choice also gives us something else, full transparency and control. We know exactly what went into these models. Clean, commercially licensed data, no third-party weights, no black box inheritance. Every component is something we can debug, audit, and improve. And that's the foundation. So let's walk through what we actually built. All right, first up, image 2.5. Number 2 on the image editing leaderboard, surpassing 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 we've been iterating here pretty quickly. What makes it special is its precision. When you give it an edit instruction, it executes with fidelity and consistency that other models struggle with. Complex compositional edits, changing lighting, adding objects that match the environment, editing one region while leaving everything else intact, it handles those super cleanly. And I definitely encourage you to give this a try on our MAI Playground website. In fact, you can even do it on your phone. The flagship 2.5 model is also optimized for maximum quality. So it's professional-grade output for creative and enterprise workflows. It's already live in PowerPoint and rolling out to OneDrive, and also available on Foundry right now. And the Flash variant brings the same architecture optimized for high-volume production. So you get more throughput, minimal quality trade-off, significantly lower cost per token. Next, let's talk about Voice 2. It's our latest speech generation model, and what sets it apart is its naturalness. We went deep on prosody, the rhythm, stress, and intonation that makes speech sound like a person, not a text-to-speech engine. The headline new capability is fine-grained emotional control. You can tune not just what the voice says, but how it feels. Warm, urgent, conversational, joyful. Available today in 15 languages and many more coming soon. So let's give a listen to what joy sounds like. And I'm not getting any audio. Can you hear that? I don't think so. There's supposed to be some sound now. Let me try that again.
I just got the best.
Oh, perfect. Okay, let's try it.
I just got the best news ever. I cannot stop smiling. Everything I've been working towards has finally paid off, and I feel like I'm on top of the world, honestly. This is the happiest I have ever been. I can't believe how amazing this feels. I'm so incredibly happy right now.
All right, so a little hard to hear, but that's our model. Yeah, thank you. And I definitely recommend checking it out both on our website, which has some great examples of the range of emotions and voices, and then obviously whatever you want directly on MAI Playground or inside of Foundry. And one more quick nod to this model, it does a great job at voice cloning. So if you just give it a tiny amount of audio from a real person, it can replicate that voice with super high fidelity. And all it needs is a couple seconds of the source audio. And then again, we'll have a Flash variant of this model as well, and that's particularly designed with voice agents in mind with incredibly low latency. And we can't wait to see what you build with it. All right, next up, transcription with Transcribe 1.5. Transcribe 1.5 is simply the best transcription model in the world. Not close, the best. SOTA accuracy across 43 languages, beating Gemini and OpenAI's flagship transcription models on head-to-head accuracy benchmarks. But we haven't just optimized for benchmark accuracy. This model optimizes for real-world use, your actual audio. Noisy environments like this one, accents, domain-specific terminology, multiple speakers, you name it. And on artificial analysis speed benchmarks, our model is in a league of its own, up to 5x faster than rival models and more accurate. No one else comes close in both dimensions at once. And it's already being integrated across the Microsoft stack, from Copilot, Teams, GitHub, Dynamics 365, and it's on Foundry now. It's the fastest, most accurate, and most cost-effective transcription model available today. If you're building anything involving speech to text, this is your model. All right, next up, coding. Code One Flash is our dedicated coding model built from the ground up for agentic coding tasks at speed. The benchmarks, 71.6 on 𝗦𝗽𝗀 verified, 51.2 on 𝗦𝗽𝗀 Pro. And as you know, 𝗦𝗽𝗀 Pro is one of the hardest real-world coding benchmarks out there right now. And it's optimized to be cost-effective for high-throughput workloads. And we can't wait to see what you build with it and to hear your feedback. Definitely check it out in VS Code with GitHub Copilot today. All right, last but not least, and this is the model that we're going to go deep on, Thinking One. Thinking One is Microsoft's first reasoning model, and the one we're really excited to give you a peek under the hood. So the architecture is a mixture of experts, 35 billion active parameters, about 1 trillion total, with a 256K context window. And it punches well above its weight class, as you'll see in some of the benchmark numbers in a few slides. And it was hill climbed entirely from scratch. No distillation, no teacher model. Clean, commercially licensed data lineage, the kind you need when you're shipping to enterprise customers. So let's jump into how it was built. Now again, there's a lot of really complex diagrams in the next few slides. I just want to give a quick nod to our tech report we launched on our website this morning, over 100 pages, giving you detailed understanding of exactly how we built this thing from scratch. So definitely check it out. But a quick high level of that report. So there were 3 principles that governed every decision we made. Capabilities should be learned, not inherited. Simplicity is sustainable, and scientific rigor over shortcuts. So let me make the data story concrete, starting with what we didn't use, because that's really the harder choice when you're designing a frontier language model. No open source training sets, no synthetic data. We actively hunted down AI-generated content on the web and removed it from our training set, which gets harder and harder every month. And the benchmarks are decontaminated. The numbers I'm going to show you are real. What we did use, 30 trillion tokens sourced and processed entirely in-house, web, code, books, papers, multilingual text, domain-specific materials, and every pipeline we own end-to-end. And then in mid-training, another 3.55 trillion tokens of curated STEM, math, coding data, verifiable answers, and code that either runs or it doesn't. And this phase extends context to 256K and sets us up for the RL climb. So let's talk about the RL climb. Reinforcement learning is where the model actually learns to think, and this is the part I find the most interesting mechanically. So the base algorithm is GRPO. Generate a group of rollouts for a problem, score them against a verifiable ground truth, and reinforce the better ones. And for math and code, the reward is binary. Did you get the right answer? But running RL for thousands of steps on a model this size doesn't just work, and so we built 5 innovations that combined keep the climb stable across thousands of steps. The 𝗦𝗲𝗀 score going from near 0 to 97% in a steady log linear line is an example of how all of these techniques come together. And again, if you want to read about these techniques in detail, definitely check out our technical report. And we also trained 3 specialist models across STEM, agentic, and helpfulness and safety, and then merged them together. So we get one model with 3 areas of mastery. And so let's talk a moment about that safety climb. Safety isn't a filter bolted on at the end for this model. It's an entire dedicated RL climb with a reward model trained on human preference data. You cannot trade safety for helpfulness. It's baked into the math with this design. Then 15 rounds of red teaming across early, mid, and late training, Microsoft's AI red teaming, plus independent external vendors, over 2,100 adversarial scenarios. The result, on the safety helpfulness scatter plot, which is maybe a little bit hard to see on this slide, MAI sits above and to the right of Claude Sonnet 4.6 on about 5 of 8 of the categories. And so more helpful and safer at the same time. Okay, so bringing that all together, let's look at what that produced. 𝗦𝗲𝗀25 at 97 and 𝗦𝗲𝗀26 at 94.5. So these are brand new problems released after our training cutoff. The model has never seen them. Live code bench is 87.7. And again, this benchmark continuously adds new problems to prevent contamination, so it's a genuine measure. SweetBench Pro at 52.8. Again, real GitHub issues on real code bases, competitive with Opus 4.6. And GPQA Diamond, 84.2. So this is graduate level science questions, biology, chemistry, and physics without using any search tools. So this model really understands complex domains. And this is a 35 billion active parameter model, so it's not the largest, but fully competitive because the capabilities were learned, not inherited. And that's MAI Thinking 1, a clean foundation, well-designed climb, scientific rigor. Next, let's talk about how you can tune this model and make it your own with what you heard about this morning, Microsoft Frontier Tuning. So most AI products today ask you to rent a generic model and hope it works for your business. And we don't think that's good enough. Frontier Tuning is how we let every developer and org build its own hill climbing machine. A model that knows your work, your language, your data, trained entirely inside your environment. And there's really 4 things that matter for Microsoft Tuning. It's private, so your data never moves. it's cost efficient, so you're not burning dollars on tokens you don't need, and it gets smarter on your actual context. And you control the model. No big model lock-in, no dependency on anyone's roadmap but your own. And the process for building on top of this is pretty straightforward. You define your task and what good looks like for your business. You bring in your data, your M365 context, your Azure Fabric context, your workflows, your domain expertise, and then we run training inside your secure tenant. You deploy once you're done through either Foundry or Copilot. It's simple as that. And then it doesn't stop. Real usage feeds back into the next training cycle. The model gets better the more your org uses it. And that's what a hill climbing machine actually means. It compounds over time against your objectives, not some generic benchmark. Okay, so here's a real world example that's really exciting for us. Land of Lakes needed it to generate product quality reports from tasting panel discussions. So we frontier tuned MAI Thinking 1 Flash on that specific task. And the result, 89.3% quality score, which is higher than all frontier models, and 10x more cost efficient. So higher quality, 10x more efficient. What could be better than that? And that's not a small model being a big one on a toy task. That's a tuned model beating the best generalists on a real business workflow at a fraction of the cost. This is just a taste of what you can achieve with Microsoft Frontier Tuning, and we're really excited for you guys to get your hands on it. All right, so across all of our new models and Frontier Tuning, we can't wait to see what you build. Image 2.5, Voice 2, Transcribe 1.5 are all live in Foundry today, and also available to play with on our MAI Playground website, which again works on your mobile phone if you're bored a little bit later tonight. Thinking 1 is live on Foundry as well for a couple of private preview customers, and we'll be expanding it very soon. And if you're interested in testing it, please sign up on the Foundry website. And Code 1 Flash is available right now in VS Code, so definitely check that out and send us your feedback. All of the models will be available also across Base 10, OpenRouter, and Fireworks. So if you use any of those, you're in luck. You can learn about all this stuff either on the Foundry website or Microsoft.ai, which has everything you need from model cards to API documentation and also pricing. So that's it, short and sweet. Thank you so much for coming, and the team is here all week. And you can see we have still a couple of sessions left later tonight and tomorrow. Definitely swing by the demo booth, and please send us your feedback, either through any of these social channels, and please follow us on these as well. We're just getting started as a lab, and we have much more to come. So thank you so much.